Hi, so I'm here with Mark Downer, Head of HR of Silverstone Hospitality.
Oh, yeah.
And it's a lovely day, and you've got a massive task ahead of you in the coming weeks. Every year, you have to gear up for the British Grand Prix.
Yep, you could say it's a big task. It's something that's always been planned throughout the whole year. So it's not just something that we wait until 2 months out, 3 months out. It's something that you start planning literally the day after you finish the Grand Prix of this current year. So when we finish on the Sunday of this year, we'll already start thinking about next year's Grand Prix, purely because of the size of the operation. So you're looking at the amount of people you need to get involved, from your waiters and waitresses, your chefs and porters to work it, your logistics, your equipment, your menus. There is so much to do on such a grand scale. And before you know it, the year's finished and it's Christmas, and then you come back in New Year, you're 6 months out, and then months just tick away so quickly. And then next thing you know, it's like a month out, like we are now. We're just 4 weeks away from it. It comes on quickly, so it is a big task in hand.
And because it's such a big task, is it something that you dread, or is it something that you're really excited about?
I think if you dread it, you're in the wrong industry. So you've got to be excited about it, but at the same time, it's our jobs. It's a career for people as well. So we like it. There's a big adrenaline buzz. Yes, there's a small amount of sleep that goes on for the week of Grand Prix, but actually you're running on adrenaline. It's a buzz. There's people you don't see every month. It might be one person you see every year. They come back time and time again. So you see a lot of familiar, regular faces. The people that come here seem to want to be working with us. They know it's long, hard days, but it's enjoyable. We try and make sure that it's not this big organisation where you're a number. Everybody that works with us, they're a person. We might not know everybody individually by their names, but we'll try and make sure people feel welcome. They'll know Stephen Saunders, who's the CEO. He'll go in and out of every restaurant. He will speak to the kitchen staff. He will speak to the porters. He will speak to the managers in the restaurants. He will speak to the logistics boys. So it's fun, but it's hard. So I wouldn't say we dread it. Yes, you do get nerves, and you do think, oh no, I'm 4 weeks away. Have I done everything I need to do? Has all the other guys ticked all their boxes? So yes, you can get a bit nervous, but like I say, if you're dreading it, you're in the wrong industry completely.
And obviously, the task in hand, is it something like 3,000 people that you have to...
Yes, we're planning now. So again, we're 4 weeks out, and we've got people in doing bits of kitchen prep for us. We're actually currently setting up kitchens. As you can probably see behind us, there's a big marquee going up, which will house 7 restaurants in it. We won't get in there till probably 10 days out from the Grand Prix, when we can physically get in there and set it. So, on the Sunday alone of Grand Prix, we're touching nearly 1,000 staff. It fluctuates around about 900 is a more comfortable number. Saturday is a very similar number. The Friday drops down a little bit less because not everywhere is open on site on the Friday. But then obviously you've still got the whole week. So you've still got Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday and the Thursday where you've got so you've got a fair few people on site working, and they're all in different capacities, different ages. You've got different sexes as well. Everybody wants to work at the British Grand Prix, no matter who they are, where they're from. We have people come from Europe sometimes that work with us. We've actually got a chef, for example, that used to work with us on a full-time basis. He comes back in from France just to work the Grand Prix with us for the 7 days of it.
Wow. And obviously, the majority of your workforce is agency or temporary based. How does that work in maintaining, I guess, the same standards, the same culture, the same
Obviously, there's what we call service level agreements with the agencies we use, so they know what we expect from their staff that are coming, whether they're front of house staff or whether they're chefs. Everybody that comes to work, they are given a brief in all the different areas. So each restaurant, for example, the manager and the supervisor will brief the staff, let them know what's expected, the standards. They'll let them know who they're serving, timings of the events. So not just timings of what's happening in the restaurant, but timings of what's happening around them on track. So if a client or a guest asks, oh, can you tell me what's on track now? It's 12:30. Yep, this is X, Y, and Z race going on. So the agencies, we will give them as much information as we possibly can lead into it. Some of the agencies we use them all year round. So the staff become effectively part of Silverstone Hospitality. We don't look at them as an agency. We look at them as one of us, because they come here, they're working for us, and they're representing Silverstone Hospitality. So if they come along and they're saying they're from a different agency and that's who they're working for, people might get confused. And also it shows a little bit they're not buying into what we're trying to do as much. Yes, they are from an agency, but at the same time, you're on site here, you're working for Silverstone Hospitality. You know, I will go sometimes to their training days, so I'll actually pop in and sit down on one of their training days. One of the agencies might have recruited 30 new people for the summer hit. They might work in other venues around the UK, and they might be coming here for one of their first days. So I'll go in and see what they're training. Are they training them to the same service levels we would expect for the guys that we train in-house here?
Mm. And am I right in saying it's about 60% of those keep coming back?
I would like to think so. If we look at it on paper, we try and break it down a bit. We have around 110 chefs that work for us at Grand Prix weekend. We have around about 100, 120 managers and supervisors in the restaurants and on the bars. So yes, you're looking at a fair amount of them guys will come back year in, year out, whether they are freelance and they just come back for a specific event. Even via an agency, they will still come back as well. And then with all the front of house hospitality waiting staff, with your logistics team, with your accounts team, a number of them will also come back to us year in, year out. Obviously, we must be doing something right because they do want to come back here. And if they're not enjoying the work they're doing, I don't think just to say you've worked at the Grand Prix in the UK is a big enough draw. So I would hope to think that the reason why they're coming back year in, year out is because they're treated as an individual. Then, like I said earlier, they're not a number. So yeah, I'd say we've got a high 50s to 60% of people are regularly coming back year in, year out for us.
And is it difficult in terms of availability? Because I imagine that, you know, some of them may have got full-time jobs between the year or something.
Well, you've got a lot of them do work full-time elsewhere. A lot of them work on what we call the circuit. So they'll go and work at other venues around the UK or even abroad. So we have the availability come about around about the end of the year, so December, start of the following year, January. We will then try and get out the availability to all the people that want to work with us and say, these are the events we've got. Can you commit to them, yes or no? And if they can commit straight away, brilliant, you know, they're in and we'll put them down to work. Some people have to say, you know, I need to get time off my current full-time job, but I would like to come back, and we work with them. So it's a big operation. Sometimes you're competing against other venues. So Grand Prix this year clashes with about another 3 or 4 events, which are of a fair size as well within the UK. So again, if we can keep, I suppose, hand-picking the people we would like out of the big pool of staff that are out there, and they want to keep coming here, it's a bonus for us. And unfortunately, I suppose it could be a bit of hardship for the other sites around the UK that want them.
Well, it's crazy to think that people would actually take time off work to work for you.
Yeah, definitely. And like I say, again, I think it goes back to the enjoyment of working for Silverstone Hospitality. They come here, yes, they do work hard, they do work long hours, but at the same time, there is a bit of added enjoyment to it, I would hope. Yes, they do see, you know, some high-profile people, I suppose, that could be here for the day. They do see, obviously, one of the biggest sporting events that the world offers, not just within the UK. And I suppose that does draw them to an extent, but again, they're working for Silverstone Hospitality. They're being looked after. It's not just a case of, right, you're coming here for the day and this is what you're doing. They're given training, they're given briefings, they're looked after. I suppose it sounds a bit corny, but, you know, they're fed, they're watered to an extent. So we put a lot of managers and chefs up in accommodation locally, so they're not having to travel in, you know, an hour, 2 hours away. They're literally traveling 20 minutes from where they might be staying, you know, and that is all done on the back of us. You know, we don't say to them, like, you must contribute towards it. We try to look after them in that aspect as well.
Oh, that's brilliant. Well, it sounds like you've got a constant task ahead of you, but I hope it all goes well.
Thank you.
And I look forward to seeing the Grand Prix.
Brilliant. Yes, brilliant. No, so do I.
All right, thank you.
Cheers.